I mean, and unfortunately, but again, like I said, it's a team that I've supported. I love the competitiveness of it all. I support it still. I'm there. I always, I'm there. I go to balls still today, and it's where I'm from.
Right. It's your
So
childhood
it's not.
golden days. So, the
Yeah.
you want to get away and get back into your feeling, your good feeling, your
Yeah,
memories.
yeah. It's not even about it. It's like I adore it.
Word.
Never mind if you heard anything otherwise.
I'll try to listen to all the extra stuff. That's why I got you on the show, because I want to know the real tea.
I know that.
Yeah.
So how did you feel back in those days, when the Latinos were being overruled from the ballroom scene?
I mean, it hurt my feelings, but it gave me. I'm thankful for that, because it made me want to come back and rock. It drew out this competitiveness in me. And I was like, yeah. And I let it be known, like they say, when I came and I competed. I mean, and just rocked. And they had to almost see me, because it's like, how could you not? Taking the wrong what's the problem? And everyone always, really, and so it was that. It took a lot of proving, but it was definitely proved.
Wow.
I did it, and I'm one of the first that did it, honestly speaking. And I know it's almost it's almost like, okay, so now what do we do? Oh, but now he's prejudiced and he's that. No, now that it's all said and done, and they're like, yeah, he's talented. It's almost like they can't even it's like, oh yeah, but they're
You
still
came for
kidding
them.
me.
You came for them, and now you turned it. Now you were the one who turned it to the negative thing.
And yeah, now I'm still prejudiced. There's no wins, like they say. After years of supporting and I have years of competing and winning, and it's still it's no wins with them. But I love them, and I'm there for the long haul, and I support it. But realistically speaking, on the real, it's a lot of politics nowadays, and it's a lot of what's going on and who and a lot of that. I mean, you see it. I'm not
sleeping with, who you pay.
Yeah. Who do you want to win? And that's cool. I mean, it's cool because I guess, but sometimes it creates problems. You see what happens?
Yeah.
It blows up. It turns into fights. It turns into all types of things, and then it's no fun. It's no fun. But
right.
it's
now,
bad.
I want to ask a question, but you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. You know what I mean? Because I know that you guys probably, it's been years already, so I know that you guys probably made up already and everything. Because I know how it is in the world scene. But in 1993, you had a verbal vogue with Andre Mizrahi.
Oh my God! Everyone's still talking about that, from what I hear. Right?
Girl, the girls post that down on the Facebook, girl.
I know. And then the video pops up, and you look at the date of the video, and it's so old. It says it as a heading, 1990 something, and people are still commenting on the video of that, on the footage. I mean, I don't know what to say. Honestly, it's crazy because it was a moment. I mean, think about it. They both handed us a mic. They handed him a microphone.
And they pumped y'all. They pumped your head.
And yeah, it was provoked.
Yeah, because at the end of the video, when I watched the video today, okay, the commentator with the short little Gilda, she was like, I just wanted to see if y'all can handle the heat. But when it got hot, she was getting nervous. She was trying to get everybody off the stage.
When they saw that it got real, then they wanted to stop. And it's like, come on, you guys sit there and you provoked this. It was the category that, they created, the House of Milan, whatever, and them. And it was provoked. It was premeditated. You handed him a mic. You handed me a mic. He called me out my name, a cha-cha, Hispanic, whatever, fiend, crackhead, whatever he said. I'm going to retaliate, So then how am I still prejudiced 20,000 years later? And how is he not? And how is he not? When it was all premeditated by them, and it's crazy. I mean, it's okay because I won,
Okay, because I was like, wait a minute, you took the cards and you started counting. You was like 1 to 10. You gave him the elements of Vogue, right?
It's crazy. I think Andre, that's my baby. Years later.
No, but you know what? The best thing is there was no fights. You know what I mean?
Young kid,
There was no fights. You know what I mean?
as young men. But back then, I mean, think about it. You hand a kid a mic, they're there to compete. You hand another one a microphone, different houses. You tell them to read each other, slurs them out. This one says one thing to the other. What am I supposed to say? I'm not going to say anything.
Right.
You know, he took it to that level first, and I took it to another level, and then he took it to another one, and so on. You know.
Right.
But it was all provoked.
Just kiki anyway.
Yeah, no, and it was, but people still today think because of that. I guess I don't know. That I've heard that they think that I'm prejudice because of what I called them or whatever. I'm not holding any grudges of what he called me. You know, I'm not. Like I said, we cool. Like there was never that. You know, I mean, come on. I mean, I'm many things, but not prejudice. And I think it was all fun and it was all in game, and it's not that. And you know, and yes, the House of Extravaganza was created because it wasn't accepted back then, and you know, we've kind of fended. You know, kind of like how African Americans had to fend for themselves, had to fend for their race back then. You know, against white middle America. It was kind of like what the Hispanics had to do in some aspects in the ballroom scene. And the same way they still get treated the way they do now, they still prejudice them going on with cops and racial, profiling. It's kind of like what they doing too, in a nutshell, every now and then against the Hispanics, and even like whoever, even African Americans in our house get shade just because they roll with us. Honestly speaking, if you really, 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 really want to get into it. But that'll be a whole nother show, Bob.
Right, that's a whole nother episode. Okay. But one quick question before we move on real quick. Do you
All right, Bob.
Do you feel like there's a rumor out there, and the girls just want to know, I want to know, do you feel that there's a rivalry between offspring houses, such as Infinity?
That there's a rivalry between whom?
Is there really a rivalry between offspring houses in the ballroom scene, like the houses that bring in other houses into the ballroom scene, and then they try to battle their own?
What do you mean? Give me an example. Like, what do you mean? So
like offspring houses. Like, let's say somebody comes to you and they say, "Oh, I want to open up my own house or whatever," and you're like, "Okay, approved, down, boom," and then next thing you know, they're eating for like a year or 2 or 4, and then they try it with your house, and after you let them in the ballroom scene. How do you feel about that situation? Is that really true? Like, is that really happen?
I'm sure that it does. Like, honestly, with us, like, I don't even like that offspring house over house.
Right.
I don't really I never heard of that. Like, that's unheard of. Like, you mean like okay, like let's say my house, and there's another group of kids that want to start a house, but it's not even that they don't want to be dancers, but they need our blessing and they make their own house.
Yes.
No, well, I mean, that's unheard of. I mean, I think you have to come and put yourself in the ballroom scene first before you go around making any houses. Right. Like I could bring somebody and introduce them to the ballroom scene and get them to walk, but as far as like introducing a house, BK, okay, maybe after they walk, I could be like, yes, and I just, after he gets his trophy, be like, okay, and this is the mother of the new house up, but I mean, to storm a ball, new house, and be like, oh, we got introduced by the extravaganzas. That's not really, you have to prove yourself, I think, first. But then again, don't put it past me if, they get they're the house of and they're fabulous because I say, I don't put that past. But as far as us concerned, we don't have offsprings. We don't really bring like, we may honor and respect houses and support them. We have houses we look up to and we support and friends with and stuff like that. But as far as like a house that just is like unheard of, trying to come in and using extravaganza to validate their status in the ballroom without proving themselves, never mind to us, let alone to the scene. Nah, like I don't respect that really.
I know that's right. Terrible.
Yes. All right. Well, move on to the next. One thing I wanted to ask is too. I understand that there's only one mother and one father for the House of Extravaganza worldwide, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like too many chapters, it gets confusing. I mean, there's a House of Extravaganza in Europe. When Carmen is out there, she runs that. But as far as like mother and mother and acting mothers,
Congratulations to that.
yeah, acting mothers and mothers and acting fathers and fathers. No, there's one overall over everybody. There's no chapters everywhere. Yes, there's members throughout the world. You know, a few, not a lot. You know, like, you know, it's not many. You know, our grand march is not long compared to other houses. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've seen some grand marches that be for hours. But yes, okay, hours was a little long. I hated the anniversary ball. I couldn't believe how long it was. You know, out of last long. But other houses, oh my God! But yeah, we don't do that. Chapters and other houses and mothers in different cities and states. No, we never. But I like to follow. I follow tradition, and we never were about that. We never been about that.
Yes,
you know,
I live classic town.
Yeah.
All right. Now, tell me a little bit about, you know, how did you start the House of Extravaganza?
How did I start it?
Yeah,
it wasn't started by me.
Well,
it was started by Hack.
Right. What's the history?
Oh wow! It was started by Hector Extravaganza, you know, and it was started by him. And back then, he was an amazing bowler. You know, he had like an 8th sense. This dude, like, amazing, and he started it. And Angie and Punk Rock Frankie and oh my God, and Danny and David Ian, they created this back in 80 something. Oh my God, 85, 86, 85, 86, I want to say. Don't kill me. Somebody's like, no, 84. Somebody somewhere, one of my brothers, you know, somebody in my house. But no, in the 80s, in the mid 80s, 86,
Word.
85, 86, yeah.
Okay.
It was then, and they started the house, and yeah, you know, and they decided to call. They were thinking of a name, and they decided to come out with something eccentric, something different, and they named themselves the House of Extravaganza. And it was Tito, you know, my brother Tito, you know, bless him, I love him. He was there. Can you imagine being there when the name of your house was created? Can you imagine that?
Wow, amazing! It must be
That's a big deal.
Experience.
Yeah, like that's crazy. You were there when the house was made type stuff, you know? So I've always honored or tried to honor their traditions in this house, you know, the being the first Latin house in ballroom history.
Their legacy.
And that's what we're known, you know, first house to go into the scene and stir it up a bit.
Word. What category did you walk the first time?
Oh wow! The first time I walked, listen to this. Believe it or not, I walked like New Space or something.
Word.
You know, yeah, something with pretty boy, little schoolboy face, something real off the cuff like that. Believe it or not, you know, it was off the cuff, but it wasn't Vogue. But I always watched it, and I was just like, wow, you know, seeing these kids, Rodney Ebony, amazing Voguer, and Stevie Saint Laurent. These guys were amazing. You know, they like, you see them in Paris is Burning a little bit. You know, not much. I mean, you had to like be there to see these kids were battling, and they were no joke. So I always wanted to be a part of that. And real quick, I was like, nah, that face stuff ain't for me. You know, I'm like, that pretty boy and schoolboy stuff, I don't really like that. I mean, you know, and then I was like, because I was a dancer, so I was like, I wanted to create this Vogue thing and add to it, and add my talent and bring my element. I was quick to do that, you know, so, yeah, so,
Speaking of Paris is Burning, tell us a little bit about Paris is Burning.
Paris is Burning was crazy. Like, it was a documentary, and I remember she would come around a lot, filming them for years, and I was a little kid, and I was always around. A lot of times I would duck the camera, you know. I was like, because the guy, it was annoying. Like, I didn't really, yeah, you know, like, and you never think that they thought it's going to be anything. After a while, it's like, you know, nobody that was an extra was really getting money. You never saw these people were always around, and, you know, people were like, curse them out a lot of the times, to be honest. So they were filming everywhere, you know, and it turns out that it was one of the still today one of the biggest critically acclaimed documentaries. You know,
Word.
and
How do you feel that